So next, let's update this to our content. Then this our content should just be this, and it should be required, so there should be no limit of content. So we can remove all this, leave the required as required. And remove all this logic. Now what's left now is the terms. Below the terms, the author. I think let's just to reduce typing. Of course, you know why it's throwing an error here, because there's no comma here, and there is no comma here too, and there is no so that should go up. So yeah, this is the author should be a string and should be required. Then I think that is it. So that is what we need for our author, so that I'm not speaking to the air. Let me confirm this. Okay, that is it. So let's confirm if this will work, but before then, do we have the user? Yes. So this user is going to show. So let us do our consider log values to make sure we're getting everything in our form field values. So if we attempt to submit this, it's going to throw so many errors. Yes, so the title is required, this is required, this is required, this is required. So if I fill in just a word, it says too short, so more than one is this. A brief description, I think this should be my title. So Ctrl C. So that was saved when I was practicing. Then a brief description, maybe learn how to improve this. Then author. So now the author should come from here, but see, because we're not signed in, so let's sign in. So please, let's log in. Yes, and go to our create. So you see the author will be the name of the person. So the title again, let's paste this. Then learn 5 simple steps. Then this we can say content. Then if I submit, you see I'm getting all of that. So we can send this now to our backend, which is nice for us. So the next thing that we need to do now is this. We're going to use Ashes to post this to our backend, which is this, our JSON placeholder, which is this. So, and it should look like this. So automatically to add the ID, so we have the title, we have this, we have this, we have this. When it does that, it should automatically redirect us to the blog page. Then what we can add on the blog page, of course, on the blog page, when we access this blog page, we need to see an update. So let's just try if that will work. Then if it doesn't work, then we'll know how to fix it. So let's go back to our create blog, which is here. So let's use Ashes to do that. Ashes, I think we've imported that so that we don't have errors. And while we are here, let's remove this and use the import. So Ashes is already imported. Then dot post, remember post is used to send to the backend. So let's get our URL, our resource, which is this. So remember, always feel free to come here. It doesn't cost you anything, just a click. Then the data that I want to post is our values. It will automatically add the ID for us. Then so if it is successful, the response, so this response we want to redirect to the blog page. So redirect, do you have a redirect there? Yes. So each time you see let as part of the IntelliSense, then you know that you have that. And if we verify, we see that we have a redirect. That's good. Then if there's an error, we want to catch the error. So dot catch. So if you don't use this catch, if there's an error, you can crash the application. So console.log error, the error. So let's test this. So if I send here now, you're going to see how React works and this. I see that's what we have here. How React works and its pros and cons. So you see it works. You come here, so you see exactly what we have. So if we want this to always come to the front, then what we can do, let's see if that will work, because it looks nice if it comes to the front, doesn't it? So let's task our brain a little. So in the blogs, where are we displaying the blogs is here. So we can sort them before we map. So dot sort, remember how we use our sort. We want to sort by alphabetical order, by ascending or descending order. So by descending order, we use our B minus A, remember. So if we save this, it's going to sort the blocks first, then before it will map it. So let's go back and come back again, just to be sure. But that didn't work. So let's try A minus B. That didn't work. And why is it not working? I think the B minus A would have worked. It's not working because remember, okay, yes, it should have worked. So at this point, because these are blocks here, we are updating it with this resp.data. We'll be having this, you'll be having the ID and title. So we need to, the issue there is, let's see if we can wrap that into a number. So we need to cast this into a number because this works. as numbers. So let's do that. So here is our blocks and where are we mapping. So let's cast that number A, not number A, number B, then number A. So let's try that. Let's switch tab. It didn't work, so let's reverse it. So number A and number B. So that is not working. So before we do this, let's try something. So before we return here, let's try to see the actual blog. So consider log blog was blocks. So blocks, let's see the actual blocks. So if I try to do that, oh, now I see. We want to sort it. We can sort it by the index or by the ID. So we are going to do that. The a dot id, then that is what we want to sort. I forgot that again. So it's always good to, so if you write a logic and it doesn't work, try to understand how JavaScript is seeing what you want to do, then that will give you a nice edge. Good. So let's do our Ctrl Z again, just to come back here to avoid much typing. So this is going to be a dot id, and this is going to be dot id. I think this will still be the way it was, but let's now change it to b dot id and a dot id. I think this would work. Well, that didn't work again. So again, let's do our test here. So let's do the test here. So we say our console.log logs, then let's try to sort this. Console.log logs dot this. So if it works, then we're going to be sure that that has worked. So let's see what is returning. So this one is IC and ID3, ID2, ID1, ID this is working. But the problem is this one that we created without an ID is not saving as, the ID is not coming as number. So that is why the sort logic is not working. So let's go back. So that is why the sort logic is not working. So if we clean up this, so we will see the error here. Having its own default ID. So we are going to clean this up and make make this to be a normal number so that it will stick to 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to have that error I explained earlier. I think Ashos has a way of sorting an array. So if I come back here, I'll have an error. Yes, this error. So the error is that is not the number array is not working. The number array is this number one is not working. I don't know why. So we can't get a single ID by that. So what do we do now? How do we solve this error? So this should be in our block details. So if I cast this to be a number, I think let's check that type of this. Consider log type of ID. So let's see what ID is made up of. ID is a string. Wow, so we need to convert it to a number. Nice catch. So Ctrl X. So cast that ID, but it's not one. So if we do that, let's see if our error disappears. Let's go back and come back again. The error still remains. Same bad request. I think Ashos they have updated their or JSON server has updated that, so the number casting here is not working. So if I change this to number, let's just confirm if everything is working. ID. So it's going to show me that this is a number, no longer a string. And because we are casting or there's another way we can do this, but that will just to fix the issue. So let's do that. So we'll get all the blocks. Then what we'll have to do now is to filter. So this will come back as an array. So dot filter. We're going to filter each dot ID not equal to ID. Then we are going to, of course, no, this should be equal to, because we don't want to only fit out, we want to only extract this one. Then this should be index 0. So I think this will still work. Yes, this worked. So we are able to get the single block based on that. Sort is not defined, so where is those our sort? Let's move it now. In our blocks, so our blocks should still be should not be having an error. But let's just remove all of this or comment it out. So let's comment this out first of all, just to know why we are having, just to clear the error. Okay, so we are having this. So let's create a new block and see if it's going to come as an ID. So we have this. So let's check the database. See, it's still coming as an ID. So I think what we need to do is this. So we have to revert to the old distance. Then I think we'll have a check to sort an ID based on this. But it then means we cannot, I think we need to sort based on the index, not based on the ID now. So we'll just leave everything the way it was, but you can still revert to the old one. So let's see if we can sort based on ID. So let's add a single logic. So let's add a simple logic. Let's see if we can sort based on the index that we have from React. I mean from the ID. So let's see. Let's look at the syntax of the blocks. So if I have an array, consider log, I have an array of objects. I have ID. I have, let's say, name A and an object name B. So I want to sort this. So dot sort based on this. So I should have the first one, name B, and I should have the index. So let me put this A, B, index. So I want to sort by how do I use the index to sort this? Okay, that will be a later project, but I still thinking of how I can do this. But this is the only way we can do that. But its value is never used. But if I say a b minus a, let's see what it will return. It's going to return a minus b, but I want it to return b minus a. So let's put a here. B. So let's see. It's still returning the same thing, and the index is 0 and 1. So let's add this b. Let's put greater than a greater than index. So let's see what that will return. B greater than index. Okay, we'll find a way to do this later on. But it seems JSON server does not work with the number again. It creates by default. And unless we have to manually add an ID of number, then that is the way we can do that. And let me do that as my last try of this challenge. So the last try here is when we are creating a blog. When we are creating a blog, to prevent it from showing this, then let's see if we can manually add our ID, if that will work. So that means we have to manually have our object. So I'm going to have this. So let's try that. So let's UPD be equal to an object. So I'll have title is equal to values dot title. ID will be this ID will not be unique. Okay, let's leave it. The ID will not be unique. To just create some other, but I'll find a way to sort. I'll find a way that this challenge will work, and I'm going to drop it on the group. So this should work, just to play around with this, but so that will not waste time. So for now, the ones that will create last will be the last one. So that is it. So the next thing I want to do now is this is we want to update this and delete. So if it's an admin, it will show that. If it's not an admin, it will show that. So let's do that in the details page. So it's always good to have a challenge in mind, and that will mean your next practice. So later you can refer this to the usual format, and it will still work. But for now, any of this will work, but this one is much longer process. And just imagine if the database is much. So let's reverse that. If it is much, then that means you have to get everything, then you now filter it with waste time. So ID, then to be this dot data, then we save this. Then we have to go back to this and change them to a number. To strings, unless we have to from. Don't know why it's not working with number again. Maybe this is a new update. Okay, so if we do this, everything will work as before. So you see, everything is working as before. Then let's remove some of those console.log and leave the challenge for the challenge. So that is in our blog details. This type of, remove that, and that is it. So now, hoping there is no error, you can go back and forth. Yes, nice. You see that this one is much faster because there is no looping. So next we go back to our details page. So you don't feel discouraged when you don't get a challenge. Just keep it for the next challenge. So the next thing is our button. We have our delete. So your task will be to add icons to this. So add update. So if we do this, we'll have this delete, update, and this. So I think it's time for us to add our external CSS so that we can style this on. If not, we need to have, we'll be having our custom this. Okay, it does not cause conflict, so let's leave it like this first, since we go just to test the functionalities. Okay, so to delete a block, that is the one we'll do, and we'll need our confirm this. So where did we do that? Our confirm, we did this in our forms, you remember. So if you go back to homes, forms, where is it? Form, no, not forms, in hooks, not in hooks, lists, yes, list. So delete is going to show us this. So deleting, I'm going to delete the last. So why am I looking for this? So I will see, we'll just copy what we need to activate it from that page. So let's go to our list, scroll down, look for our confirm. Ctrl+C and copy it. So in this challenge, we are going to let's go back to our details page and paste this down here. Then let's import this modal. So the action here will be be our handle delete function. Handle delete. So let's do consider log deleted. Just to test the confirm first before we activate this. So in our action will be our handle delete. So in our handle delete, we are going to also need an ID. So this A is going to be the ID that will pass in. Then we need the message. Are you sure you want to delete this blog post? So we need our model and set model. So let's grab that here. Ctrl C. And paste up. So now that we are here, we can also copy the toast notification too. So remember, I just copy these two. Ctrl C. And add that here. The next, we'll copy these two. And we are doing this because it's close to us. The next, in our remove fruit will be same like this. So we're deleting them when it's actually deleting this stuff. Do that. So let's just copy this first one. Ctrl C. So inside our delete function, which is handle delete, we'll call our what? Delete. The when is actually, and after a set time out. So let's use 3 seconds. $1,000 times 3. So 1,000 times 3. So that is when we're going to add a new toastify. But first of all, we'll call our dismiss all. Dismiss all. Then we'll put our blog deleted successfully. So we've not yet written the blog first of all, but this is just to test our toast notification. Then before we forget, we need to do this. So let's add that at the bottom here still. So if we save this, I'm not sure there will be an error. So let's go to our blogs. Then let's want to delete something. So we should see the pop-up. So on delete, of course we need to set on delete, we'll set the set modal to what? To true, because initially is what? Is false. So that's why it's not coming up. So when you understand the way your code is structured, you should know why something is not working. So on click, now, set modal or set show modal to be true. So if we do that, it's going to work now. So click this, you see, sure you want to delete this block, so it's supposed to be, are you sure? If we close, you see nothing happens. But if I say proceed, you see deleting, then block deleted successfully. But you see the console log block deleted showed before this, because this was here. So let's do our actual delete now. So the actual delete will come here. So ashes dot delete. Then where is our block details page? So let's just copy this. So almost everything we are doing here, Ctrl C. So let's do that. Only that will change it to delete to reduce typing. So not that get now, but delete, and that is going to delete that. Then when it's finished deleting, when the delete is successful, that is when we want to dismiss this. Then when we dismiss that, we want to redirect to the block page. So redirect to / block automatically. So but before we redirect, we want to come have double set timeout. So let me try that. So set timeout. Just after 1000 times 4 or 5. So just when the toast container is closing, that is when we want to redirect the user. So let's try this. So let me use a dummy block, which is this one. So if I want to delete this, it's going to ask me, are you sure? I'll say yes. So it shows deleting, block deleted successfully, then close to the end of the time, and that is when to redirect, and you see the block is out. Very nice. So we've done that. So the next thing that we want to do now is the update block. So let me create a dummy block again. How to boil rice. So you notice that is a typo error. Then the description, learn 5 simple steps by Amadi Blue. Then content, or put coming soon. Then I can create this block now. See, it has been created. So let's say I want to update this how to boil rice. So how do we do that? So to do that, we'll need an update component. We don't need to switch to any page, just need to switch between containers, between components. So let's get that component first. Update, then I'm going to put this as update blog.pss. Sorry. Then the update blog is going to be similar to our create blog, so let's not waste time there. So Ctrl A and Ctrl C. So where is our update? It's not here. So let's paste. So change this to, so change this, Ctrl D to copy this, or change this to update. So anywhere it says update that matches that, it's going to change that. So I don't have to type it, I don't have to scroll up again. So next we'll change this to what? Update blog. Then we'll scroll down. So why is this thing not working? So next we change this to update. So this our form is not inside, this our button is not inside anything, so let's put it inside a feed set, or inside a field set. But we can give it a class name of btns just in case. So I'll have the back button here. So the back button means the person wants to switch back. So this is going to be back. Okay, so let's try to load this now. So we'll go to our details page. What we are going to do is, first of all, the logic now is to have a toggle state. So let's toggle, that's not the spec toggle, set toggle, then use state should be false. So we want, if the toggle is false, it should be showing the details page, but if it is true, it should be showing the container page. So there are some things we want to leave as global, so let's cut from that. So let's just copy everything. So Ctrl X, then we'll have our fragment now. Then we'll have this, if not toggle, then and so I can just paste this because it's inside a div already, so that will work. Then after that, so if my toggle is true and they will need the update blog, so that's right, that's imported. So if I save this now, when I click on this update blog, I want it to set on click, I want it to set the toggle to true, so I have to switch on click, set toggle to be true. Then we want to pass in a prop. Set toggle. Set toggle. Then we want to pass in the data as a prop. So data that will be a prop will be the blog and blog. Now why are we adding and so that it will only pass the blog when there is data. So if there's no data, it will not be passed. Then we need to accept this in our update, which is this now. So set the toggle and data. So while we are here, now, this our title is going to be data.title. Then this our intro is going to be data.intro. Then this our first name, of course. We can leave it like so, but let's just change it to data.intro. Data.intro, so that in case it's not the person's, not .intro, .title, .author, and the content should be data.content. So that should be it. Then I hope there is no import confliction, but we'll find out very soon. Let's try this code out. So let's go back to this how to boil rice update blog. So you notice the update blog is showing me this, and again we are seeing this. Very nice, very nice. So this should update the blog. So we have the how to boil rice, we have this, but the content is not coming forth. So the content should be displayed inside here for update. But first of all, I want to go back. Okay, we've not activated that, so let's go to our update. The back button should not be type submit, should be type button. Then on click, set toggle to false. So let's do that. So if I do this, you see it goes back, update, goes back, update. So our create blog is also the same, so the CSS can be styled later, but let's do that. So the blog now, this update blog. So the next thing we want to do, the next thing I want to do now is to make sure that the value for this our content comes here. Let's use value touch dot content. that should not be touch. That should be error. Then there should be another one. There should be another thing that we can get from here. I think it's field. So I think I need to on my internet. So let's do that. So we need to be able to get the value and inject it into that place. And we cannot use touch. Because the touch just is to and if we say let's use the error, it is only going to be triggered if there's an error. But there is another value here. I think it's field. Let me try that. It's field. Let's use field here. Field. So let's use field. Oh, that's an error. So let's use formic text area. Just a moment, let me power my inverter. So now we have that. So let's look at some of the things that we can use. I think it's props. It's field name value. Okay, field dot value. So this field is an object. It can be name, it can be value, it can be blur. And this method. So the field, how do we get that? So let's use that of text area. So we have the touch errors. Let's ask how to outside. Let's see. So we need to fix that error. Okay, let's see. Initial value of this should be data dot content. What was I thinking? Hi. See, when you are thinking too far, just realize that I had a solution and I was looking for more error. So that is it. So if it was just reason now, if it was able to show me through, then I did feed the content, then why not just pass the data here? So what I was thinking was to try to get it from here, which will be an error. So see that if I clear this, I'm going to refresh. If I sign in again, I come back here, go to update, you see, I will see this. So we don't need this to be here, so we always set a quick way to set that is set issue to false, because at this point the field is already filled, so we don't need it to be showing the person. Oops, there's an error, because at this point now everything is set. So I want to change this now to the normal boy instead of that. So let's do that. So let's check. So let's check the actions of this. Instead of this, it's going to be patch. So patch is to update. Then when you want to update, you also need the ID to update. So it's going to be a slash plus data dot ID, then the values that we are updating. Then after that, we want to redirect the person to the home page, and everything should work as expected. So let's do that. So if I click on update, I change this to the normal boy, which is bol boy, then I say update, the content is required. That means this is readable, it's not writable, so the error has not been fixed. So let me use default value. Okay, so that has worked. So if I send this update, yes, so you see it has changed to what? Boy. So that is it, my friends. So this is how we create and update a blog. So if I want to delete this, of course I'll delete, and it show me this post notification. Then of course you can add it in your Create, you can add it in whatever place you want to add it. Then now one last thing I want to do is, if I log in, if I'm not logged in and I'm not an admin, it should not be showing this, so I'll not be able to create. So if I log in as email 2 now, and I come to here, you see I'm still seeing these two guys. So let's remove that before we forget. So in the blog details, for the delete and this, we need them to show if the user dot data dot row is equal to an admin, then and we want to have our fragment. Save that. So if I do that, oh brother wisdom, my user is not defined. So let's define our user. So where do we have that our user? Here, and we just want to use the value, so Ctrl+C, but that will not be an issue. The blog details, not update blog details. So we have this, so let's import these. So let's use recoil value, then let's remove this and change to user, then import this info. Very good. So if we save this now, we'll not have an error. So if I close this, you see now it's now working. So if I log in as an admin, if I don't log in as an admin, I cannot delete or have any of those privileges. So this is just a simple blog project, but I believe we've learned a lot, and if you can practice this, do this on your own, then can add more functionality. So you can use this when you have a job to do a front-end job. You can use the JSON server to test all of this. Then just to show you how to use the JSON placeholder, which is the offline one. So JSON placeholder, so we can have the following So let's say if you want some default images, so let's go to this one, the album. You have the user ID, you have the ID and you have the title. So these are just albums. Then if you want photos, so just some random photos to give you all of these photos. So you can just use this for a project. Then if you want a blog, so if you want to do list, so if you want to be like a to-do list app, you want this. So if you want to actually make this to be like this our JSON API, you can just grab this, then see if you can extract all the objects, then if you can post them online, if you can post them to your these local ones. If not, from what I read online, you can only get, it's only get that works, but the post, delete and this will always be giving you through, and if you just go back, it will not be updating in real time, just like when we updated. So let's try that. So what we have to do now is, in our blogs, let's change the URL. So if I want to do that for my blogs, for my blog posts, so posts, I'll have the user ID, I have the ID, I have the title, and I have the body. So that is what we need to do. So to make this work seamlessly, let's do some changes. So we change this our content. So let me copy all of them. You hold your Control DD and change it to body. So that is it. Then the author, so you have the ID, you have the author, and you have that. Now why are we changing this? So that in our blog page, so that it will work seamlessly. In our blog page, we change, okay, we have this author. So if the author does not exist, if it exists, we use blog.author, but if it does not exist, just put an empty string there, so there should be nothing there. So everything will work as the same. Then the next fix that I want to do now is in our blog details. So if we don't do all of this, it will crash. It will tell that you cannot find this following object. So instead of this now, we have body, remember. Then if the author does not exist, just the same thing. The author does not exist. If the author exists, blog.author, but if it does not exist, just an empty string, so that it doesn't output it. So if we test this, everything will still work as before. So you see, since the author exists, it is outputting it. But now let's use the JSON placeholder. So copy this URL from here, Ctrl C, and use that as our get blog. So for our this, I can comment this out because it's JavaScript. Shift down, so that when if I send the code to you, you'll be able to know that this was for the real one. Then I will change this now to this. So this is going to come with the ID I save. Then to the normal blog now, I'll also do the same thing. So to get the blog, I'll just change it to this. So if we do this now, it's not going to be coming from the internet and not from this, and we'll have a whole lot of blogs. So you see, we have a whole lot, and this one doesn't have an intro. So let's see, in the snippet that we have here, it doesn't have an intro, just like our own. So let's test. So if I click on this, so why is it delayed? Let me refresh. Is he getting the old guy? So let me refresh this page. So let's submit. We have this. So why is it getting that? So blog details. But you know, blog details are updated. What an issue. And from our JSON placeholder, this is still the same ID that we are using. ID of 1. So from here, from our blogs, let's see if that from our blogs here to the right, we say blog dot what ID, and is the ID that we are using here. So let's console.log our blog and let's see what we are getting. So let's go back. We are getting no. So how is this coming? Resp.data. Okay, so we have this 100. So remember the same issue I think we have. I think that should not be an issue. We have dot id. Okay, that is the issue. So I've seen the issue now. So the issue is that here in our blocks here, when the user clicks this, we are not using the parameter, we are using the block.id. So if he's able to look through this, then he should be able to get the block.id, and that is what we have here. This is because our JSON server is on. So let's stop our JSON server just to be sure. Control Y. Let me close this from here. but if we close it, we cannot access our login again, and that is what I just realized now. So we cannot log in again. So let's open that again. npm run jdb So I believe I've just demonstrated this. So you notice the blog on the blog on is showing. So let's try this again, but now it should be on. Okay, it's still getting started. So let's try this now. So I think I demonstrated this, and everything is meant to be working. Oh, it's actually working. We have our title here now. Our title is this, body is this, but it's getting something else. And one of the ugly part of this is we don't even get to see an error. So I've looked at the code, looked at the object. Is there an error? The blog details. We are redirecting using the right ID, blog.id. So is there an object inside an object here? No, so let's look at user 1 for example. User 1, you just have the body, the ID, the title, and the user ID. So everything should work fine, but we are not getting that. Okay, that's fine. Blog.id. And it's not blog.id is showing us here number 1. So let's target this. Number 70. So the issue is from our blog details, not from that. So let's check that. Is this one stick? Do you still cast it to a number? No, it's still a string. Then where did I add that? There is a place I added. That was a mistake. There's a place I added. Okay, it was in this our delete. Then to get the blog. So still the same thing. I remember adding this thing somewhere, so that was why I didn't know it was 2 places. So it was in our deleting, not in our getting. So I'll do this again. Comment it out. So that is programming for you. If you make a mistake, you face the error. It's not working the way we expect to work. So you see, it's working now. So everything is working as expected. So we'll sign out and log in as an admin. 3. Then let's try to delete now. So let's see if I can update this. You see, I only have my title, there's no description, there's nothing. So this one won't even work. So the delete now. So let's see. Remember, it's block number 1. So it will show as if it's deleting, but it's not actually deleting. By the time my request comes back again, I'm still getting what? 100. And that one I still deleted is still there. So that's why it will not work. If I create a blog, then it will still not work. So that is it. So this is how you will build a simple project using React, and this has taught us a lot of lessons. So I will encourage you to use it to practice, to get a sense of it. So you notice I was having some errors and I was solving it. So if I remove all the errors, you think it's as easy as that, but by paying attention when I solve the errors, you can to understand how you reason to solve the errors and improve your joy as you could. So thank you very much for the video, for watching up to this point.